Now I'm going to go over editing and adding the shortcode to your website. So in the settings page that we've already gone over, you will see that the shortcode spits out right here. So you would just simply copy and paste that into the poster page in which you wanted to display the subscription buttons. So when you do it, make sure you're in the text editor, or I know in the new Gutenberg, they do blocks. So I think it says code or something to that effect. You don't want to be under visual. So let's go over each attribute. I just put it into a text editor so I can make it bigger so it's easier to see. The first one is the show name. We're able to obtain the show name off the settings page. That's when we initially created this. I called it AOSFP, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Fan Podcast. You could call it anything you want. And the way I would name them would be dependent on where they're at. So I might have AOSFP Sidebar, AOSFP Small, AOSFP Medium, AOSFP Large, whatever. Just something to give me a hint of what I've done with that shortcode. Next, we have calls equals 0. This simply just states how many buttons are going to be in one row. 0's the default, so it would mean all the buttons would be on one row. A situation you could get into in which you would want to alter this would be if you wanted to display 10 buttons and the width of the area you're going to display them in is only, let's say, 6 or 7. And you don't want to have 6 on one row or 7 on one row and then the remainder of the buttons on the next row, because it just wouldn't look right. So you could put 5 here, and that would signify you would have 5 buttons on the top row, 5 buttons on the bottom row. So you can change that to whatever you'd like. Next, we have the pop-up. The default is 7, so once every 7 days, the pop-up will come up. However, if somebody cleans their cookies each day, then they're going to see the pop-up each day because they're deleting that information that would tell the pop-up not to display to them. So if you want them to see it every single time, you could change that to 0. And that's every time they come to that page or post, they will see the pop-up. Or if you wanted it once every 30 days, you just change that and it just goes day by day. And if you wanted to get rid of it altogether, you could just simply get rid of it. But I'm going to leave it in there for now. And then lastly, we set size in the settings area. As you see up here, we have small, medium, and large, but you can override that in each shortcode. And there's a lot of instances in which you might want to do that. So if you have the exact same show, but you're putting it somewhere small, you might want the buttons to be small, and you would simply just type in here. You'd have the space between pop-up equals 7, and you would type size equals, and then you could put small, or you could type medium or large in there, and that will override the settings page for the shortcode. And there's a whole lot of applications for that. I wanted that to be included because there are instances where I want to show the same exact buttons, but I need them to be a different size. And I did not want it to be dependent on one overall setting throughout the entire site. So just remember when you're pasting your finished shortcode onto your site that you are doing it in text or code, not in the visual editor. And then you just paste it where you want it to display, save or update or publish, whichever, whatever stage you are in it. And for me, I will just add my shortcode to my show notes. And so when I paste them into my site, there we go.